Welcome back. So in this section we are going to learn one of the most important machine learning algorithms, which is SVM, short for support vector machines. Okay, so we will start of course by importing the needed libraries, right? So we are going to import NumPy, pandas and iteration tools, and this is used for plotting and other stuff as we are going to see. And then we are going to import the needed submodules from sklearn. So the most important one is of course SVC, right, or support vector classifier. Okay, and we are going to import grid search, the matrix, train test split, cross validation score, standard scaler, label encoder, and the datasets or the toy datasets from sklearn. And then we are going to import from matplotlib, we are going to import pyplot, right, as PLT, and we are going also to import grid spec, right, and we are going to use this to plot multiple plots at the same time. And we are going to import of course Seaborn for better visualizations and visualizations that looks really good, right? And then we are going to use also another library called MLXtend, right, and we are going to import from the plotting submodule a function or a class called plot decision regions, right? So this is very important when we are going to plot the decision regions for the SVM. And we are going also to import from the same library from pre-processing shuffle arrays union, and we are going to explain it when we reach this part. And for grid search and for seeing the progress bar and all this, we are going to import taqaddum, right? But let me explain first how we can import this library. Of course, if you try to import it like this, right, if you are going to import MLXtend, then this should work if you have this library, right? But if you don't have this library, you need to install the library. So how we are going to install this library? We are going to just write pip, right, exclamation mark, pip install, and then the library name that you want to install. So it's already there, right, on my machine or in my collab. So as you can see, requirement already satisfied. So if this library was not there, right, if it was not installed, then it's going to be installed. It will take a few seconds and that's it. You can use this library after that, right? Now what is the outline for this section? First, we will understand the SVM, the intuition behind SVM, and this is very important to understand, because otherwise all this will make no sense, right? After we understand the intuition behind SVM, we are going to explain what is the difference between hard and soft margins, right? And then we will see a very important hyperparameter called the C hyperparameter. This is the most important hyperparameter for SVM. And then we are going to explain better what do we mean exactly by the kernel trick. This is one of the most important things in SVM. And then we are going to explain the kernel types, because we can have more than one kernel, or we can use more than one kernel in SVM or with SVM. And then we are going to see an example of SVM with linear data. And then we are going to see an example of SVM with linear data and another example of SVM with non-linear data. So we are going to use some of the toy datasets we imported from sklearn, and we are going to generate our synthetic data, right, to see how SVM will work with this, right, using the different kernels we introduced in the previous sections. Okay, and then we are going to perform as usual hyperparameter tuning and cross validation. So we are going to discuss what are the most important hyperparameters in SVM, and then we are going to explain how we can use SVM with multiple classes, because the SVM formulation, problem formulation, and everything behind SVM is for binary classification problems, right? So we are going to answer the question how we can use SVM with multiple classes, right? And finally, we are going to see how we can use SVM with regression, right? So how we can use SVM with regression can be a little bit tricky, but we are going to import from sklearn SVM, we are going to import SVR, support vector regressor, So we are going to import it and use it, but we need first to understand how this actually works, right? So this is the outline for this section. Let's start in the next lesson by understanding the intuition behind SVM. So let's go.